One of my students asked me how teachers can keep up their passion. In the beginning, every teacher was a teacher candidate time, pre-service time. They were very passionate, enthusiastic, and most of the teachers said they cannot wait to go out teach, especially after they have a pre-service field experience, not pre-service, a preclinical, field experience. So they went out to the classroom for 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, work with the teachers, help teachers and see children. And they come back and their reflection always said that they just cannot wait to go out to teach. That much enthusiastic and passionate teachers started their teaching, and then a few years they already have a burned out feelings, and they ask themselves, I don't know how many more years I can do this. It is, most of the teachers struggle. It's not because their academic subject areas is too hard to teach, like, technology, computer science majors and, what is it, engineers. They said their hardest part is they have to study nonstop. We understand that, right? So those, technology related these days, especially digital world, how hard it is. However, teachers teaching academic part, except those teachers, computer science teachers, and those teachers may have to update their knowledge a lot. However, most of the teachers pretty much, they have standards and they have curriculums. So they can study curriculums, and then those curriculums are all just, ready for teachers to teach, and all worksheets already there, and it's all research based. So most of the teachers have those ground. Only special education teachers don't have those, but special general education teachers have that. So it's not, their struggles. It's not about the teaching academic content that they have to constantly study like professors do. It's not that. Most of the teachers burning out is because of children's challenging behaviors. Those challenging behaviors, it's not really like hard behaviors, but most of the behavior is off task, very disruptive behaviors. And second one is when their response, the teacher's response was not that pleasant, because you're frustrated and struggling, and then you're busy with the teaching, and then a few students not focusing and then chatting or walking around and something off task, and then you just say, call the child name, get back to your seat, and then I'm gonna move your name tags or something. So it's a threatening, right? Because that's a token economy. So children knows, they have to keep that so they can have a reward. Or if, many teachers use those recess time as a punishment time. So you just have, you keep the, your name or just star or whatever tokens, keep, how many tokens to go to recess after lunch. So if you have a lag over those numbers, and then you're gonna sit with me at the bench, because you cannot remove a recess from the children. You just walk out with the child, but all the children all play, and then you and the child sit on the bench together. So that's, nobody appreciate that. And then they show those frustration through just emotional reaction. So it's really like, it's not nice. It's more like a defiance types of reactions that they show. So every day, it is very hard to keep up, your passions. So you study the first year is full of passion, and then second year it's 95%, and then 90%, 80%, and suddenly 60%. And so days goes and years flow, and then your passion is going down. And then you're just experience going up, however, your passion goes down. So How can you keep your passion? This, I just could say, you have a job, you cannot keep up your passion with the increasing salary. I don't think so. Yeah, money is important for our life. However, no matter how much school pays you, still your job is too hard and you don't see why you are doing that job, because we seek for meanings, right? We work for meanings and you don't see those meanings anymore. And then there is no point you stay there. So what is the meaning of your job, your profession? That is the most important part. So why you teach, and you had full of reasons. First reason is you love children. And then second reason, you want to make some change in children. Many special education teachers has those goals. So you had all those. However, your passion dies because you do not see your work result. That is a meaning. So you don't see the meaning because it seems like you worked so hard. However, you don't see the result. There is no outcomes. So little Susie, little John came to my class and their reading level was not that great. And you taught very hard. It seems like you worked really hard to try to help them. However, their reading skill is still same. At the end, still they are non-readers. Most of the children is the same. And you don't see, I see, when your passion dies, and what makes your passion still on fire and high? It is sparkles in your children's eyes. If you see the sparkles in children's eyes, that children's sparkles about their self-accomplishment and achievement. If you see that at least once a while, not even though it's not every day, but you see those sparkles and they are waiting for your lessons, whatever lessons you give, okay? And if you do small group lessons, they are waiting for your small group lessons because they know once I work with Dr. Ko and sit at the desk, and then I can do whatever she asks me to do. And then they don't say just self-achievement, self-accomplishment to those vocabularies. However, they feel great because they have those feelings. They are so proud of themselves. It's unconscious feelings. They don't understand, they don't know why I work with Dr. Ko and then I feel so good. They don't know that. However, every time they sit with you, they feel those great feelings. And then while they are waiting for your teaching, and then their eyes are sparkling because they have expectation. Do you think that this is a really fake story? No, not really. It is real. That's that is the one maintain your passion and enthusiasm. Teaching job is not easy job. I say it is a very difficult job because you are dealing with 20, 30 lives, especially elementary teachers. I say elementary teachers are most difficult jobs because many of them is even you cannot communicate well, right? Kindergarten children. And I used to say, I like, communicable age. So that's a high school, secondary students. So I can converse, I can make a conversation. And that's what I used to say in Korea. However, here, elementary teaching, because, there is no block schedule, pretty much only bathroom time you could have a time, and then lunch time you can breathe, and then recess time they play outside, you go out and then just drink fresh air, and then they have extracurricular, and then you can breathe. Those are the only times, or especially special education teachers and self-contained classroom is really, really hard to have a break because their extracurricular time is shorter than general education, often shorter than general education, children's, and a lot of parts, they have a less break than general education teachers. And many general education teachers believe special education teachers are good because they have paraeducators. It's not. Sometimes paraeducators, it's not. Paraeducators should be your hands, right? Your hands and your fingers, so they help you. But sometimes, especially the teachers don't know how to, work with the paraeducators, actually paraeducators are part of their burden as well, dealing with the paraeducators issues. So it's a little bit different. But anyway, I just went aside about coming back to these passions. I know this is not measurable way of just telling you this is the one you can maintain your passion. I cannot say that, but this is a classic. However, this is true. Okay, that is something reciprocal feelings you and your students. Reciprocal feelings, even though children at times get wild because they are children, so they get wild, and then you're a sensitive teacher, and then you have a higher order thinking eyes, and then you could see proactively those. So no children's agitation, and then you can all get together and you just take them out and then for about 10 minutes and then walk in a trail or something, let them breathe, and then you come back and just continue your work. However, once they know you really care, and then my teacher sometimes very mean. However, that mean is not because she's bad or she's a bad person, because she cares about us. So she wants us to do a good job. They know that intention, and they don't get hurt by that. Because later they will apologize. Okay, I'm sorry. They will apologize. So that's the social emotional trusting relationship. So that is that says you do your work. Okay, you do your work, and then you have to see those, especially those slow learners, the children always leaving behind, or they are not off from your radar. You already care them. Because most of the children, about 70%, 60, 70, maximum 80% of the children are pretty much good in your classroom. You struggle with those 20, 30% of children, okay? You have a good student management skills, that human management skills, those percentage will be smaller. So 10%, 5%. There is no paradise classroom. Every teacher has at least one or two students they always struggle with. They have to have special eyes on them. As soon as you just take your eyes off, right away there are some shows. You have every teacher has those children. However, these teachers know these children needs special care, not just bothers you, annoying you, troublemakers. It's not. They are all your students, right? So since you have 60, 70, 80% of students are doing well, when you give directions, they follow. When you give work, they do their work, right? So those small group of children, you always place them, sit them wherever you most frequently stay. So whenever you finish something, your eyes and your body is right away with them, right there. And then you just care them and teach them and show them how to do it and then assist them. And then you don't give them some free moment. You always work with them. Other children, you give 20 problems. Other children can do 20 problems by themselves. So, however, these 3 children, 4 children, or 1 child, you stay with them, you work with them. Other children can do 20 problems by themselves again. However, these children, you give them just 3 problems at a time. You just make a line, and they have them do it, and then you check what they did right or wrong, and then you explain, and then move to the next one. So you just make a chunk, right? Just chunk work. So you divide the work amount. So they have a limit, only 3, right? However, these children give about 20 questions at a time, and then, okay, you can do, and then just let me know if you have a question. They're not going to ask you a question because it's overwhelming. It's a lot to do. And then they give up right away because they know they cannot do it by themselves, for themselves. So always work together. And then whenever, if you want to invest your time, I rather invest in the beginning my time about just after class, talk with the parents, and then I would provide about 20-30 minutes of private tutor, make them read, do math skills. I'm gonna just reinforce, remediate their skills as much as I can bring them up to the grade level. Okay, because that is not only for the child, it's for my life too. So I can enjoy my job. Okay, not always bound here. If you have 100% of all of your students follow you at one word, and then that much you can breathe in the classroom, right? So that's why those are slow learners, and then you just talk to with a special education teacher or somebody, or find some specialized some instruction. Best one is a direct instruction. Okay, direct instruction has all those slow learners portions there, so easily you don't have to prepare any. You just have those. You can write a small grant or just talk to the principal, have some fun, or if those reading programs, even they have just like what is that name? I forgot the name, but 100 easy lessons, how to teach your child with 100 easy lessons or something. That is just $12 to $22 book. It's a very condensed book with a reading mastery regular book. I explained this one to my student, even because it's all scripted curriculums, so you don't have to prepare any. You just understand those, how to teach, those manual you read, and then those are just 5 to 15 minutes you invest those times, and then easily in 3 months you can make your student to read. Okay, that much is some special. It's not you do only the just given job, so you a little bit stretch out your ability, and then just study, and then that's the all maintain your passion, enthusiasm, because you're enjoying your job, because you see your work outcomes in children's learning, and they appreciate that, and then you live in their memory forever. Because still you guys tell me, my student told me, I was this much difficulties, and then 4th grade teacher, I met the teacher, and then she taught me this, and then math, I could now at the moment I could understand those logical math, and she just you guys just have all those stories, and then you will be that teacher. Your students will remember you forever. Okay, so again, closely short term, it is for your happiness. However, long term wide, teaching job, teaching profession, you work for the children's future, their promising future, right? So you are the one, the children see their future, promising future, that is a country's future as well, right? Education is a country's future. That is why the government and country invest that much money on education. And free public education means because children, if they have to pay tuitions, and then those low income families cannot send the children to school. So, and then what will happen after that if they don't have elementary education, secondary education? And we have so many high schoolers drop out of schools, and then eventually that is the country's responsibility to take care of them. I'm not saying all dropouts will be, on the welfare. I'm not saying that, but however, that's the meaning of education. And then who does that work? Teachers do. So you are maintaining these countries. It's an amazing job. It's a very rewarding job, but I hope everyone see the meaning of your profession as a professional, because you're a professional, and then you see the meanings, and then that meaning is in children, okay, not your paycheck or anything else. So, and in children, and then you see that children's eyes sparkles, and that is, you see those sparkles, you can tell yourself, okay, I'm doing good. I'm doing my job. It's good. Okay, you can just pat yourself, you're doing great. Okay.